Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Such a pleasure to have you here. Welcome. So this is a pick a card, and I think everybody is sort of asking these days, what happens next? Where are we gonna go from here? What can I expect next? There's many questions that we have, and so I wanted to put together just a general guided pick a card focusing on where are we going next, what is happening next, where your energy is taking you next. Okay, and so I want you to sort of listen to your mind and pick between selection 1, 2 or 3, so whichever number comes to mind first, 1, 2 or 3, and then we look at the general guidance for that number for you. Okay. I know that sometimes we want to look at the whole message, and there could be something for you in the whole message, and you feel very strongly guided to watch the whole message, you can do so. But I also feel sometimes that we want to really sort of make a choice so life can understand that we kind of picking here from all the different possibilities that are available. For those of you that always join my channel, I'm so grateful. I am so grateful to you. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. If it is maybe your first time here, then welcome. My name is Adrian. My eye is itching. I am an intuitive healer, holistic wellness practitioner. I know there's quite a mouthful, but what I really mean by that is that I do a couple of different modalities and I bring it together. And one of my services that I'm doing really well at the moment is spiritual regression hypnosis, which is an online session, because I think a lot of the things that are not working, the limiting thoughts, the limiting beliefs, the childhood patterning, all the inner child sort of healing that's required, there's quite a need for that right now. And obviously I love hypnosis, so I absolutely love doing it. I also teach the tarot, and if you want to learn the tarot, or you're just really generally interested in everything else that I do, you can check down below. My Facebook and Instagram links are down below as well as the link for my spiritual regression hypnosis profile. Okay, so for today's selection, I decided to choose two. May seem a bit of a controversial choice, but on the one hand, I'm choosing the Osho Zen Tarot deck, which is quite amazing because it was by the sort of, if you want to call it, that prophet, Osho, who was quite an interesting sort of beyond his time type of character. And then this other gentleman, Mike Dooley, who is an infinite possibilities coach, which is really a beautiful word for the law of attraction. And this deck of his says notes from the universe on love and connection. It's quite beautiful. It's more light-hearted, because I think sometimes we take life so seriously we forget that to be light-hearted about it. So I'm going to select some cards for you. There may be some noise or drilling at the back, and if there is, I do apologize for that. So while I'm selecting the cards for you and speaking to you, why don't you, that's beautiful, why don't you go ahead, I'm just going to choose 2 cards for each of you. Why don't you go ahead and see what resonates with you, number 1, 2 or 3. Toss a coin, jump from this foot to that foot, do whatever it is that makes it feel that you can make that choice. Let me see. So that's option 1. Let me just move that over here. And there's such beautiful changes coming to this channel. I am so excited about it. It's only really been about a year that I've really been at the whole YouTube, Facebook Live sort of game, but the strong support and encouragement from my best friend. And I've got no idea how I would have done so many of the things if she didn't support me and encourage me, and because I can sometimes be a professional procrastinator. So I'm so grateful for that, and there's such wonderful other things coming. So I do hope, that one flipped around, let's put it over there. Ooh. I do hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel. There's also a weekly reading coming in for all the different zodiac signs, and I do my best to also do a weekend reading, even if it's just a quick check-in. Okay, so 1, 2 or 3. Here we go. So the first card coming up for you, this is from number 1. All right. It says change is always good. And remember, the focus of this reading is sort of what's next. So change is always good. And, we are living in a time where change is really imminent. It's, we, change, in fact, is always imminent. But where we are right now in the world, there's so many changes taking place, and it can be very, very overwhelming, in fact. And this is such a beautiful reminder that even though things may be changing at a very, very rapid rate, and even though it may be very overwhelming sometimes, that there can be a lot of good that could be found in change. It doesn't always have to be just bad. Human beings by nature, we are very habitual creatures. We've got the largest part of our mind is the subconscious mind, which is a very habitual mind, and it sort of likes to keep things going in a like a certain way. And when it comes to changes coming about us, especially the really fast sort of sudden changes at the moment, and sometimes it feels like we don't have any control, the mind goes like, no, 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 no. Okay, but if I can maybe encourage you to open yourself to the idea that there could be very positive changes that are about to come through for you. So as you move forward into your life, and if you move forward into your experience of life, everything that unfolds may actually be more positive than you imagined. But in order for that to happen, you need to open your mind to that idea and to that possibility that it may be so. Okay, let's see what we have for you. The creator and maturity. Now, this is a powerful connection if you go with this. All right. Before I check at this, I just want to also read for you. There's some writing at the back. I'm going to put it like that. So if you want to freeze the screen, that you can always do that. All right. It says, actually, this is sort of like a message from the universe. Actually, the only effective way of changing another person is by changing yourself. All right, you've got to be the change that you want to see in the world. I mean, the Buddha said that, and it's really true. Really all the wise sort of sayings are saying that, so whether you lived like 5,000 years ago, or whether you go to sort of like a law of attraction, class or workshop or retreat or whatever, these days, they're going to tell you that the change is within yourself. When you change, everything else around you changes. All right. And also, obviously, at the moment, a lot of things are changing and it feels very much out of control. But when your attitude towards life, maybe if you can maybe dial that a little bit in a different direction, if you've been struggling, then your entire experience of life can actually change. And then you can see a blessing that you may have actually missed before. Okay. So it says, actually, the only effective way of changing another person is by changing yourself. I already read that. It works every time, guaranteed. Okay. Though I'm kind of partial to the way you are right now, the universe. And then so with the creator, this is such a reminder that everything you seek is already inside of you. If you look at my channel, if you look at my, sort of Facebook lives and everything that I do, I am a very big believer that we are born with infinite possibility, and you're born with infinite potential, and you can really do absolutely anything that you set your mind to. And if you can open your mind to things in a loving way, in a kind way, in an embracing way, if you can acknowledge that that all of the world is you, then things can be great, because look at that maturity. So if you selected this card, just to answer your question, obviously for selection number 1, I see your life unfolding in fantastic ways. I see your life unfolding in incredible, fantastic way. I see infinite possibility for you. I see that your life can be better than you ever imagined that it could ever be. I see that possibility for you. Or actually, I see that possibility for everyone. So if you've been asking, if you've been wondering, if you've been praying, if you've been manifesting, whatever, this is your answer. That change is always good. It's what you make of it that makes all the difference. And since you can make anything of change, why not make it positive? Why not make it abundant? Why not make it prosperous? Why not make it successful? Why not make it work for you? You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, and of course, if you want to have a personal reading, you can have that as well. My contact details are down below. All right, namaste. Number 2. So if you chose card selection number 2, this really defines you of the beautiful divinity that you have always been. Love is the reason. Beautiful. And it says, I'm just going to put it there, so if you want to again freeze the screen, you can do so and you can have a look at it. And it says each person in your life is there for a reason, for a lesson that you can learn, for something that you can be reminded of, you know. And if I just pause there, I just want to remind you that, especially if you've maybe been experiencing maybe had some experience with somebody that felt a little bit contrived or anything like that, and it wasn't all that positive and beautiful. Sometimes the people that teaches us the biggest lessons in this world, they provide us with experiences that we really don't enjoy. Okay, so but if, for example, you incarnated to say come into this world and learn forgiveness, or you wanted to work on that, for example, you know, you wanted to even out that sort of karma, then somebody has to do something for you, you know, to forgive. All right, and it says so each person in your life is there for a reason, and that reason has something to do with love. Okay, that reason's got something to do with love, because love is who you are. Love is who you've always been. And it's about the true divinity of who you are. And I feel that you may not, you know, things may be a little bit challenging for you at the moment, because we've got the one card that says aloneness, and which to me, there's always like a little bit of a frustration sort of energy on there, you know that you can move forward, but you just don't know where and how. You kind of feel stuck and you want to get out of the stuck situation, but for the life of you, you don't know how. Okay, and number 10, there's suppression. Okay, and also with number 10 especially, the good news here for you is that number 10 in tarot is it's about endings, and endings is also about new beginnings. Okay, so you may be having the experience where I feel that you've got a very good sort of general idea of what it is that you want to have, what it is that you'd like to experience, how you sort of would like for it to feel. And maybe at some point you were really going for it, and it seemed like things were really working out, and there was really a lot of hope. But you know, then life inevitably sort of happened, and it didn't really feel like things were going to work out the way that you may have hoped or envisioned or dreamed, you know, or strived. And when that happens, we sometimes entangle very sort of you know, thought patterns and energies and beliefs that don't serve us in a positive way. And after a while, you start to almost feel like you've got all these ties around you, and you know, you're very confused, or you give up and you're generally unhappy. You don't know how you're going to get out of that sort of situation. Okay, and you may be very much there, but the good thing that I'm picking up here for you is that, you know, this is one of those situations where it's really darkest before the dawn, all right, before the break of light. Because if you look at both those cards, the one is like you're kind of coming out of this rope, there's like a light shining at the back, and then the other one there, you see what, like, as you're moving forward, it's like that light it's ahead of you, and you are moving towards it. And I really feel that you might be coming into a very positive sort of flow, sort of period, and you may not see it yet, but it is like you can feel it, but you're kind of doubting it, because, you know, sometimes we sort of feel something and you don't want to kind of like get your hopes up too much, you know, and you're like, no, this looks very pie in the skies type of thing to me, so you don't want to quite get your hopes up just yet. But I feel that I'm really happy to share with you that I really think that you are going into a very magnetic period where life can actually very suddenly work out for you in actually quite beautiful, you know, ways, more beautiful than you ever imagined. But you know, even though and if you like that idea, if you really like that idea, you know, then I want to invite you to open your heart, to open your mind, to open your soul to that possibility that no matter what your problem is, no matter how big your problem, your worries and your concerns and your maybe your fear and your disappointment, all those things are, are or is that the dissolution itself, something small may happen, or seemingly small, and it may change everything for you, for the positive, for the good, and for the better. And definitely, so it is. Okay, if you want to have a personal reading, of course, you are more than welcome to book that from me as well. My contact details are below, as well as the link to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Number 3. So if you chose option number 3, it says dwell on what you love. When I was very, very young, I'm 38 now at the time of making this video. I just turned 38 on July the 8th. But I was very young. I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. And I remember I read something in a magazine that said, even when you don't know what to do, when your focus is love, when your core focus is love, when your core sort of, it wasn't the exact wording, but that's basically what it came down to. When that focus is love, when that focus is the greatest good of all, when that focus is how everybody benefits, then you can't really make a wrong decision. Because when you come from a point of love, we really sort of unlock our magic, okay? And so, what do you love? What makes your heart smile? What sort of makes your soul dance, And at the back, I'm just going to put it there if you want to freeze the screen to have a look at it. It says, asking someone to change is like pruning a tree. Neither will ever be the same again. Scarier still is that you can't know in what new direction they will grow. And then the universe says, I wouldn't change a leaf on you. So first of all, I want to remind you, or use this as a reminder, that we are all born divinely beautiful, whole, and complete, with infinite possibility. Okay, a lot of times we don't feel that way. A lot of times the world doesn't sort of support that kind of thought, belief. But I believe, and I've seen some, you can really call it miracles in my life, of how beautiful life can unfold when you focus on love, when you focus on positive. Now, when I say focus on love, I'm not talking about becoming a dully ignorant person, who just sort of ignores everything that's happening. Everything that's happening is happening, a lot of overwhelming things are happening in the world right now. There is no point in denying to yourself that things are happening. Life is happening, and it's happening very enigmatically so, all right? But we can be aware of what's happening. We can be respectful of what's happening, without becoming too immersed in it, by remembering that, and I want to really remind you of this here at this particular point in time, that, and this is such an important thing, that no matter how you may be experiencing life right now, understand that you are a soul that's having a human being experience. Understand that you are eternal. Understand that your earth journey is part of something so much bigger. And understand that before you were born, before you incarnated, from all that wisdom and from all that knowing, you chose to come here. You chose to come here because you knew that you would be fine, that you knew that you would be okay. You knew that the resources that you require were available to you. So if I'd really like to encourage you from all my heart and from all my mind and from all my soul and with all my heart, I'd like to really encourage you to open yourself to the idea that you are not alone. Or if you're already open to the idea, to take this as a confirmation that there is such beautiful universal support that is always available to you from the moment that you were born until the day you leave here again, and every single moment in between, and every moment in between the moments. Okay? Because I feel that the sorrow card came out in reverse for you, so something is actually coming to an end. Some maybe difficult situation, is coming to an end. So if something's really been bugging you, and tripping you up, something is coming to an end. There is, I don't know why, but I feel like almost there's some sort of light shed on a situation. There's almost some sort of truth that is coming up. Okay, so I feel that it's almost like some sort of injustice may have taken place here, that you were almost sort of suffering, as a result of something that wasn't really your fault. And that is coming to light. And so just our final card there says for you, going with the flow. All right. And it can be very difficult to go with the flow sometimes of life. But when you, and I always say to people this, you know, when your focus is love, when your focus is the greatest good of all, when your focus is the positive, so you're focusing, this is my focus in life, this is my goal in life, so I'm open to go with the flow, but I'm open to go with this sort of flow. Then you can go with the flow because then the universe understands that you are focused on the greatest good of all. Okay. I hope that helps. And remember, if you want to, you can also have a personal reading with me. All my contact details are down below. Namaste. Love and light.